Hello everybody, welcome to the Rlaarlo Engineering Workshop. Today we will show you how to install the metal upgrade steering assembly for the Omni-Terminator. We will need to use 1.5 and 2.0 hex drivers and the metal upgrade steering assembly parts. First use the 1.5 hex driver and remove the screws from the steering rod. Then pull the steering rod from the steering assembly. Repeat this on the opposite side. Use a 2.0 hex driver and remove the fixing bracket of the steering assembly. Use a 1.5 hex driver and remove the screws from the Ackerman plate. Be careful not to lose the flanged bushings on the Ackerman plate. Remove the Ackerman plate. Use any appropriate tool and remove the steering rod from the steering assembly. Using a 1.5 hex driver, remove the screws holding the steering column from the chassis plate. Now you can remove the steering assembly from the chassis. Remove the ball head screw used for fixing the steering rod to the steering assembly. Use a 1.5 hex driver and remove the fixing screw from the top of the steering column. To do this, use needle nose pliers or M3 nut driver to hold the pin nut steady. Pull out the pin. Repeat this on the other side. Prepare the metal upgrade parts of the steering assembly. Assemble the parts of the steering towers in order. And tighten the screws. Take note of the installation direction when assembling the servo saver. Insert the spring and tighten the threaded ring. Place the assembled steering assembly back into the chassis. Fix it into the original locations and tighten all screws. When installing the upper and lower screws on the steering columns, use a 1.5 hex driver to hold the other end steady. Align the holes of the steering rod end and tighten the screws. Place the flanged bushings and screws into the Ackerman plate. Replace it onto the steering assembly and tighten the screws. Please note the direction of the plate when installing. Test the steering movement after installation. If there are no issues, then reinstall the steering rod end to the ball head screw. That was how to install the steering assembly upgrades for the Omni-Terminator. We hope to see you soon at the Rlaarlo Engineering Workshop.